5-1, and in this lesson we're going to be dealing with ratios. Now ratios are just a way of comparing two different types of things. If I had 4 blue circles to every red circle, I would have 4 blue over 1 red. And that's kind of how it's looking at it. Let's look at this example. If I have 18 girls to every 12 boys. That means every time I come across 12 boys, I'm also going to find 18 girls. That's how they're grouped. Okay, that's the ratio. As you can tell, there's obviously more girls than boys. Now, I'm asked to put this in simplest form. So I need to find a number that can go into both of these numbers here, which is going to be 6. So I'm going to divide both by 6. And when I do that, I wind up getting a 3-to-2 ratio. Now, this is the one time in math that you can have an improper fraction as your answer, because it's not a fraction per se, it's a ratio. So you can't go and make this 1 1/3, because you can't divide a child into a half or a third or whatever. So you just keep it 3/2. Okay, so that's its simplest form. Let's try another one. All right, let's try one where we have equivalent fractions. Are they the same? So we have 9/36 and 2/8. Okay, so now you need to look at these two and go ahead and put them into simplest form. So I'm going to put 9/36. Now I know that 9 can go into both of these, so I'm going to divide each by 9, and I wind up getting 1/4. Okay, now I'm going to take 2/8 and put that in simplest form, and I know I can go into each of these numbers by 2, and that one also reduces down into 1/4. Okay, so these fractions are equivalent, which means 1/4 equals 1/4. They are the same. I can have 9/36 of something, and I can have 2/8 of something. It's the same amount. And that's what equivalent means. Well, what would it look like if it's not equivalent? Let's try this. What if I had 9/12 and then I had 16/24? Okay? Take your first fraction, 9/12, and let's reduce it. Okay? 3 goes into both of these numbers. So divide by 3, and I wind up with 3/4. Okay? Now let's take the other fraction, 16/24. Find a number that goes into both. It'd be 8. So divide each by 8, and I get 2/3. Put the two answers side by side, and it's easy to see that they are not equal. It means they are not equivalent. So on that answer, I would put not equal. Okay? All right, let's try one more. Okay, what if I have to write a fraction in a different format? There's different ways of writing writing ratios, I should say. There's different ways. What if I had 15 cows to 25 sheep? Okay, now you're writing it in a fraction format, because I could put 15/25, but it's a ratio, so don't always think of it as a fraction, because then it's easy to not leave it in improper. Okay, you could also write it as 15/25, and a third way to write this is 15:25. There's 3 different ways to write a ratio. Now, neither one of these are simplified, so we would need to simplify first. Now, I know 5 goes into both of these numbers, so it'd be 3/5, 3/5, or 3:5. Okay? Now, on the first part of your homework, go ahead and just write it with the colon. Okay? All right. Now, how about the second part of your homework? It wants you to tell whether the ratios are equal. Well, that's just like that example I did before. So let me pick one of these examples here. What if I had 13/39 and 16/9? over 48. All right, so let's take the first one, 13 over 39, and find a number that can divide into both of those numbers. Well, I know 13 can go into both of these, so I'm going to take 13 and divide it into 13, which gives me 1. And I'm going to take 39 and divide it by 13, and I get 3. Okay? Now let's take our other fraction, or ratio, I should say, 16 over 48, and let's divide this one out as well. I know 16 can go into both of these, so 16 goes into 16 once, and 16 goes into 48 3 times. Okay, look at my final answer here. I have 1/3 is equal to 1/3. So my answer to this one is yes, they are equal. All right, hopefully this helps you on 5-1. Have a great night.